The First Crusade was a pivotal moment in history. It began in 1095 and lasted until 1099. This religious war saw thousands of Europeans journey east. Their goal was to reclaim the Holy Land from Muslim rule. The First Crusade was a complex event driven by religious zeal, political ambition, and social unrest. It had a profound impact on the medieval world, leading to the establishment of Crusader states in the Levant. It also intensified the conflict between Christianity and Islam. The Crusade left an indelible mark on the cultural and religious landscape of the Middle Ages. The First Crusade was a defining moment in European and Middle Eastern history. It is a story of faith, violence, and the enduring power of belief. This essay will explore the origins of the First Crusade and examine the key factors that led to this momentous event. The Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, was once a mighty power. It was the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire, with its capital at Constantinople, strategically located at the crossroads of Europe and Asia. By the 11th century, the Byzantine Empire faced numerous threats. Internal strife and external enemies weakened its defenses. The Byzantine Empire had long served as a bulwark against Eastern incursions, withstanding centuries of pressure from Persian, Arab, and Turkic forces. However, a new threat emerged in the mid-11th century, the Seljuk Turks. The Seljuk Turks were a nomadic people from Central Asia. They had recently converted to Islam and were rapidly expanding their empire westward. In 1071, the Seljuk Turks inflicted a crushing defeat on the Byzantine army at the Battle of Manzikert. This victory opened the door to Anatolia, the heartland of the Byzantine Empire. The Seljuk Turks were a formidable force. They were skilled horsemen and fierce warriors. They had embraced Islam and were determined to spread their faith. Under the leadership of Alp Arslan, they conquered vast territories in Persia, Syria, and Anatolia. The Seljuk conquest of Anatolia had a devastating impact on the Byzantine Empire. Anatolia was a vital source of manpower and resources for the Byzantine army. Its loss severely weakened the empire's ability to defend its eastern borders. The Seljuk Turks posed a direct threat to Constantinople itself. They raided Byzantine territories, disrupted trade routes, and undermined the empire's authority. The Byzantine emperor, Alexios I Komnenos, realized the gravity of the situation. He knew that he could not defeat the Seljuk Turks alone. Faced with the Seljuk threat, Emperor Alexios I Komnenos turned to the west for help. He sent envoys to Pope Urban II, the head of the Catholic Church. Alexios I appealed for military aid to combat the Seljuks and reclaim lost Byzantine territories. The Byzantine Empire and the Catholic West had a long and often tumultuous history. They had been divided by religious and political differences for centuries. However, they shared a common enemy in the Seljuk Turks. Alexios's plea for help arrived at a time when Western Europe was undergoing significant changes. The Church was gaining influence, and there was a growing sense of religious zeal among the population. Furthermore, many Western knights were eager for adventure and glory. Section 5. The Council of Clermont, Pope Urban II's call to action. In 1095, Pope Urban II convened a council of bishops and nobles at Clermont, France. The primary purpose of the council was to address the Byzantine Empire's plea for help. Urban II saw an opportunity to achieve several goals: aid the Eastern Christians, heal the rift between the Catholic and Orthodox churches, and potentially expand the influence of the papacy. On November 27, 1095, Pope Urban II delivered a sermon that would change the course of history. He delivered a passionate speech about the suffering of Christians in the East. Urban II urged his listeners to take up arms and liberate the Holy Land from Muslim control. Urban II's sermon struck a chord with his audience. He promised spiritual rewards such as remission of sins for those who participated in the crusade. He appealed to their sense of piety, their desire for adventure, and their hopes for material gain. Section 6. Motives and Aspirations. The Crusaders' Diverse Reasons. The response to Pope Urban II's call to arms was overwhelming. Thousands of people from all walks of life heeded his words and took the Crusaders' vow. However, the motives of the Crusaders were complex and varied. Religious fervor was a powerful driving force. Many Crusaders were motivated by a genuine desire to liberate the Holy Land, which they considered to be rightfully Christian. For others, the crusade offered an opportunity for adventure and personal gain. Landless knights saw a chance to acquire wealth and status in the East. Merchants were enticed by the prospects of new trade routes and markets. Still, others were motivated by a desire to escape poverty or boredom. The Crusaders were not a unified force. They came from different backgrounds, spoke different languages, and had different goals. However, they were united by their belief in the righteousness of their cause and their willingness to fight for it. Section 7. The Road to Jerusalem, a Perilous Journey East. The journey to the Holy Land was long and arduous. Crusaders faced numerous challenges: disease, hunger, thirst, and attacks from hostile forces. Many perished along the way, their dreams of reaching Jerusalem unfulfilled. The Crusaders were not a professional army. They were poorly equipped and lacked discipline. Their leaders were often more concerned with personal glory than with the well-being of their followers. Nevertheless, they persevered, driven by their faith and their determination to reach the Holy Land. The Crusaders' journey took them through Byzantine territory, across the Bosporus Strait, and into Anatolia. They faced resistance from the Seljuk Turks, whom they defeated in several key battles. Along the way, they captured the city of Nicaea, which they returned to Byzantine control, and the city of Antioch, which became a Crusader state. Section 8. The Legacy of the First Crusade, Triumph and Tragedy. In 1099, the Crusaders reached Jerusalem, the ultimate goal of their pilgrimage. After a 5-week siege, they captured the city in a brutal assault. The Crusaders' victory was marred by widespread bloodshed and looting. They massacred thousands of Muslim and Jewish inhabitants of the city. The capture of Jerusalem marked the culmination of the First Crusade. The Crusaders established several Crusader states in the Levant, including the Kingdom of Jerusalem. However, their victory came at a heavy price. The Crusade had unleashed a wave of violence and hatred that would continue for centuries. The First Crusade had a profound impact on the medieval world. It strengthened the papacy, increased trade between East and West, and contributed to the development of a distinct Crusader culture. However, it also sowed the seeds of future conflict between Christians and Muslims. Section 9. Conclusion. The enduring significance of the First Crusade. The First Crusade was a complex and multifaceted event that continues to fascinate and horrify historians today. It was a product of its time, shaped by religious zeal, political ambition, and social unrest. The Crusade had a profound impact on the course of history. It led to the establishment of Crusader states in the Levant, intensified the conflict between Christianity and Islam, and left an indelible mark on the cultural and religious landscape of the Middle Ages. The First Crusade serves as a reminder of the power of belief, the allure of adventure, and the dangers of religious fanaticism. It is a story of triumph and tragedy, of faith and violence, and of the enduring human capacity for both good and evil.